This is on. All right, Ms. Linda, thank you so much for doing this. This is called an interview, and in order to help you assess your type for the Enneagram. And I'll be going around and asking you some questions, and we'll be doing that for about 45 minutes, and we'll chat a little bit afterwards. And so the Enneagram is a map that helps us with our personality and helps us understand our motivations. And so our actions can be similar to other people's, but our motivations for those actions are what differs. And this is the questions that I am about to ask you help us discern what the motivation is. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And so thank you so much for your time. I appreciate this.
I hope I get something out of it.
Yeah. And again, to remind you that there's no wrong answer. And even I don't know is acceptable.
Okay.
And so don't give it a second thought. There are no wrong answers. You're not answering me wrong no matter what you say.
Okay.
So, all right. So let's start off with the first question is, what 3 adjectives would you use to describe yourself?
Start off bad. 3 adjectives. Determined. I think I'm trustworthy and a hard worker.
And what are 3 adjectives that your friends would use to describe you?
I hope they would use nice, and my friends would say I'm nice and I'm helpful, dependable. Yeah.
How are you your worst enemy?
I overthink everything. Yeah.
And how are you your best friend?
How am I my best friend? I don't know about that one. How am I my best friend? Well, I've learned to maybe not use up all my energy like I used to, and be a little more attentive to how much energy I have, and maybe give myself a break.
Good. Thank you. So for you, how important is it to get the job done?
Any job would
Any
be
job.
would be very important.
It's very important. Tell me about that.
Well, in my job where I work, I want to have the reputation of getting, doing a good job and getting it done. When I have things here at home or with my family that I want to get things done, because I want them to know that they depend on me.
So what happens, Linda, when somebody interrupts you mid-task?
Well, it would depend on who it is and what it's about. If it's important, that's okay.
So
if it's something that can wait, I'll make it wait. So it would have to depend on, how important what I'm doing is.
Okay.
If I'm at work and I have a deadline and somebody comes in, and wants to chat, that I can cut that off. But if it's, just ordinary work, I've got time, I don't mind, because I'm going to do the work eventually anyway.
So how important is achieving for you?
Achieving my, where I work, my goals, or my
To be seen as an achiever.
very, very high.
Can you say a little more about that?
Well, I want to be someone that if I take on a task, then I'm going to do that to the best of my ability, most of the time. Even if in the middle of it I find out it's probably not worth it, I've already committed to it, so I'm going to finish it out. That's probably the way it is. The older I get, I'm getting a little bit better about that, so that You know, I don't want that to be the case always, but it's just part of who I am. If I take on something, it's important that I finish it. So I would give it, it's pretty high up there.
So, what about image? How important is image to you?
Unfortunately, it is important. My image at work is important because if people don't have the image of this person that's they can depend on, that will do work, do the job, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to, you know, I will either regress or just stay where I am. And so, I mean, I want to be looked at. I want to have people respect me and my work, so I think it is. That's no, I mean, that also though is, I'm going to be true to myself no matter what. I'm not going to create an image to make someone think that I'm something that I'm not. I want them, what I am is what I want them to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how important is it for you to be recognized for your accomplishments?
Well, I'd like to get a raise, but that doesn't seem to happen. I don't think being recognized or singled out is important to me. It's just me knowing, you know, I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be happy if I didn't do my best at most things. And I don't think being recognized is that big a deal to me.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how competitive are you?
Competitive?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, I think that competition involves other people, and so,
I don't think I'm very competitive.
Okay.
I would say, you say on a scale of 1 to 10, how competitive am I?
Yeah.
I don't know, I would say low, 5, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just because I don't know and I'm just gonna take the minimum.
Okay, sometimes there are some people who do life one way if there's somebody around them that they can compete with. And
Yeah.
if that person's or person is not around, they do life differently. And
No, I don't think I'm just not like that.
Yeah.
I'm not into competing with anybody for anything.
Okay. So, what I'm hearing you say is that you don't. The next question is, do you find that you adapt yourself to different situations? And what I'm hearing you say is that you wouldn't, that you have your own internal standard and that you live according to that, and it's a high standard. So you don't find yourself adapting to different situations to fit in, is that correct?
Socially, I'm very socially awkward, so I can fit in. It's stressful for me to
Uh-huh.
fit into social situations.
Uh-huh.
At work, though, if part of my job is to be in a social situation,
Uh-huh.
I can adapt. I will adapt.
Okay.
I will adapt to what I have to do because I can do anything I have to do,
Yes.
but I'm not comfortable.
Okay.
And if it's my job, I'm more comfortable than if it's just like I've got to be in a social situation and be bubbly or something. Or I don't know that.
Do you worry about the future?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Well, I worry about taking, what could happen that, financially that I wouldn't be able to take care of. I don't worry about my health. I think my main worry is just thinking that I always want to be able to take care of myself. That's my biggest worry. I don't worry, I want the best for my children, my grandchildren. But as far as worrying about that, I don't. I think the biggest thing I worry about is I want to always be able to take care of myself without having to depend on anybody else to help me.
How sensitive are you to potential harm or danger?
To me,
Yes, in your
harm
environment.
or danger.
Yes.
How sensitive am I?
So So
don't
you
think
walk
I'm
in,
very sensitive.
so you walk into a situation and you immediately know the different things that could go wrong in that environment.
I think I can, you know, I'm not a fearful person.
Mhm.
You know, I think I've lived in so many situations in my life, lived in bad, you know, environments, unsafe environments, grew up in, you know, volatile home that I'm not sensitive to, I mean, I think I'm just not fearful.
Right. So do you make decisions quickly or do you labor over them?
So, a lot of times I know the answer. I quickly come to the answer. I know almost immediately what the answer is. But what I'm learning to do is try to step back from what I know
Mhm.
and think about it a little bit more.
Okay.
As I've gotten older, I'm doing that more and more. But probably the kind of person I am is I pretty much know the answer to something almost immediately as to what I'm feeling or thinking.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how easily do you trust people?
I don't trust people very much.
Can you tell me a little more about that?
Um, well, my experience in just human nature and people, most people they have to look out for themselves and their own self-interest. And if that means sacrificing you, they'll do it. And that's just, you know, I just don't trust many people. I've been hurt mostly by the people that I've trusted the most. So, therefore, if these people that I've just given everything to and all my trust have betrayed me so much, then I'm leery of almost anyone, you know.
How important is it for you to plan things out?
I like it. I like to know, you know, I like to know what I'm going to do, and if I have a project or something, I have it pretty much, I want to plan out my time and know that I'm allowing enough time for everything. I want to be organized in my planning. So that's important.
Yes. Do you ever engage in worst case scenarios?
Tell me an example.
A worst case scenario is there are people, groups of people who, whenever they come into a new situation or with a new group of people, they imagine the worst case scenario that could happen, and then they prepare for it in their imagination. Do you find yourself doing that?
No, I don't think so. Not that much. I'm sure I have, but no.
Okay. All right. How do you respond to conflict between you and another person?
Depends on the person and how important they are to me. If there's conflict and it's not, I mean, you know, it's not that important. I'm not going to be confrontational. I'm not going to go and, you know, I won't die on a hill that is not that important. I will, you know, if somebody attacks me as far as, you know, the core things that I feel, you know, I probably would retaliate.
Can you tell me how?
As far as confronting someone, I would tell them the truth about how I feel, and let the chips fall where they may. I defend myself.
Okay.
I would, I'm not going to seek out confrontation, and people that are really important to me, when I see these conflicts happening, I've got to weigh how am I going to jeopardize this relationship if I confront them about something? How is it going to come back to haunt me? So I will weigh, you know, how important the relationship is to me. And I'll back away from confronting somebody if I know that it's going to end up hurting our relationship in the future.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, would you describe yourself as someone who easily sees all points of view?
Who easily sees. I don't even know all points of me.
So,
I know, I think I easily see, I know I easily see the dark side of me.
no, this is not all sides of you. I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear.
Okay.
All points of view of a situation or an opinion. In other words, if you're sitting at a table
Mhm.
and there's 5 people and there's 5 points of views,
Mhm.
do you find yourself agreeing with all 5 points of view?
No,
Okay.
no. I mean, I wouldn't agree with a group of people just for the sake of, it would depend on what it is. I mean, if it's something just irrelevant, I'm not going to, I'll probably say, well, yeah, that's, I understand, or I understand that, or I see that, but I guess that's it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Again, there are groups of people who literally and genuinely, somebody will give you a point of view and they really do agree and they really do understand.
Mhm.
And then somebody will have a different point of view, and while they are talking, these types of people again agree
Mhm.
with another point of view that's not similar.
No, I probably wouldn't do that on most things. I might not say anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you hold your own easily?
For the most part, I always have. I might be. I think I'm weaker now than I used to be. Yeah. And I think that's in my relationships with my family, not in my work environment. I think I'm as strong as I ever was. Yeah.
So I'm hearing that you know what you want pretty easily.
I do.
That's what I'm hearing.
Mhm.
Okay. So, Linda, what is it like for you when you make a mistake?
A mistake at work or how?
Just in general.
Just I know that I've done something that was wrong.
Yeah.
That was wrong. Well, I think I'm pretty quick to want to be forgiven if I've hurt, especially if I've hurt someone. And if I've made a mistake that way, I don't feel comfortable. I can't stand it. So if I know that I've made a mistake and I need to own up to something, I'm pretty quick to do it because not doing it's worse. Yeah, I can't stand the stress of it.
So what goes on in your mind when you leave a situation and you have assessed that you didn't do it perfectly? What goes on in your mind?
Well, that's different than me making a mistake. I mean, there are a lot of situations where I'm in that I will come out of that situation or knowing that I didn't handle that very well.
Okay.
And or I could have handled that a lot better or whatever. And they worry me. I guess I worry about that. It bothers me until I can make it right or try to go back and reconstruct it with whatever and try to make amends for it. It bothers me until I can make it right, if it's possible.
Sure.
If it's possible to do that. Sometimes it's not possible to go back. And I just, kind of wait for time to take care of it.
So tell me about it worries you. Tell me what that means or feels like. Tell me what it feels
Well,
like when it worries you.
Say at work today, I was in a situation and a person that I work with came to me and they had done something they really shouldn't have done. I mean, they responded to a consumer in a way that they did the wrong thing because they didn't know enough about the situation to get involved in that. And I sort of let them know that, and I said, well, you really should have come to me, or after that was over, I felt like I could have handled that differently. I made this person feel bad. They did the best they could at what they had to work with. And I think when they left, I felt bad about it. And so it's just almost immediately, I was anxious to go and see this person and say, you know, if I'd been in your place, I probably would have done the same thing, which is what I did, you know. So if I see a situation where I've probably not handled it well, I'm going to go and try to work it out, you know.
So some people have a strong inner critic who's quite vocal. What is that like for you?
It's really bad.
Tell me what that feels like.
Well, I don't know that it's critical. I'm trying to think. I guess it would be critical, but I think it's more, I know myself. I think I know myself better than anyone else. So I know my heart and my motives better than anyone else. So when I do things and I know that my motives are not pure and they're not right, and my heart isn't right about it, I condemn myself.
And how do you do that?
I just feel bad about myself and who I am. You know.
So would you consider that
I
a
feel
strong?
regret, and I feel like, and I see a lot of it in myself, and it makes me mad that I'm like that. I don't know.
So would you consider that a strong inner critic?
I think I'm very critical of myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think it's wrong. I just think I wish I weren't sometimes, because it matters more to me than anybody else.
Yeah.
And most people don't know what I know, and they don't even see it, but I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it bothers me.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like a phony.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when others are irresponsible, what is that like for you?
I don't like it.
Tell
Yeah.
me, tell me more.
Well, when you're irresponsible, what that means is, first of all, you have to be responsible for something. And if you're responsible for something, if you're responsible to bring food to a luncheon, if you're responsible to file a brief, if you're responsible for something, you're responsible for it. If you don't do that and live up to that responsibility, in my opinion, you're being irresponsible. Sometimes you can be irresponsible, like you're always late, or you don't do your part in some kind of function. You're not being responsible. Sometimes there may be a reason for it. You were sick, or you couldn't do. But I find that people that are irresponsible continually, I don't have any patience with it. If it's my family and they're that way, I live with it. I live through it. I don't like it though. But I probably would not let them know I don't like it. Yeah.
So tell me, what is play like for you?
Play. When I play, what is it?
Yeah. What is play? Tell me about play for you, Linda. What's play like? Are you drawing a blank?
I don't know. Probably it's like work. Somebody asked me just this week, what do you do for fun? And I had to really think about it, because I don't have a lot of fun.
Yeah, so that's what's play like for you.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of fun. Fun things when I'm with my grandchildren. I want to do things that are fun. That's becoming, though, more. Sometimes that's more of a responsibility. I'm responsible to make sure that they have a good time.
So it's work.
So I have to participate in it, and it becomes work.
Yeah.
So I have fun when I talk to a friend or someone that I love, and we just talk silly and nothing. We are just, that's fun. I enjoy that. fun. If I went to just hit golf balls by myself, I think that would be fun. That's fun. That's about it. I don't have much fun.
For some people, Linda, the best is always out of reach. Do you consider yourself one of those people?
The best is always out of reach. It might be. It might be that way. I've not thought about it. I always think, and I think, well, the best is yet to be. So I guess it is out of reach. Or even, I know things are gonna get better. They're gonna get better. I can't live like this forever. I know things will get better. I know, this week's been terrible. It'll get better. So I think I would think that way.
And there are people out there who live with the sense of longing.
I'm longing.
Does that resonate with you
Yeah,
to some degree?
yeah, I think I long for. I long for contentment and just being peaceful and peace with me and myself, and I long for. I long for being like I used to be, younger. I long for the person that I felt like I used to be, which was a more feisty person, or didn't care as much about what people think as I do now. Yeah. So I do have longings. I long to be happy.
So how comfortable are you with feelings of sadness?
Well, I've gotten used to it, so I'm pretty comfortable with it.
What is ordinary like for you?
Ordinary?
Ordinary.
I think it's like me.
And when you think about that, is that acceptable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do people ever say that you're too intense?
Oh, intense. Probably. They might.
No, have they said that to you?
Have they said? No, I don't think anyone's ever said you're too intense. I don't remember that.
There are people out there that get that quite often.
Okay. I don't think I've ever had anyone tell me you're too intense.
How good are you at knowing your own needs?
I think I'm really good.
How comfortable are you at receiving help?
I'm not comfortable receiving help. No. I like it. I think it's nice if I would say, especially my children, if they were to offer to help me do something, it would be nice. But I want to be very self-sufficient. I really do. So I'm not comfortable with wanting or needing help.
So how are you with being alone?
I'm getting really good at it. I'm getting too good at it. I like it too much. It's much easier. It's just an easy thing to do.
And what about setting boundaries? Is that easy for you or hard?
I think I can do it. I'll say most of my life I've been able to do it real well.
Okay.
That, different situations that have cropped up in my life, I'm struggling with the boundaries, because the boundaries that I would want to set and think that's really what I would, the consequences of setting those boundaries are too, I would move the boundaries
Yes.
in order to not face the consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
Understand.
But I think I've always been good at that.
So when people don't appreciate you, what is that like for you?
I think it's hurtful, but I really honestly don't think about it that much. I mean, sometimes, this past week, I've had to, I had to help my mother, to get her car fixed. And I have two brothers and another sister, and, you know, I'm continually the one that does all these things. And I never get, you know, I feel like once in a while I like for them to say, you know, I appreciate you helping Mama, or I appreciate. But it's been going on so long that I don't really think about it most of the time. I did think about it last week. So, I don't know, it's just not a part of most of the things I do. I don't even think about even being appreciated for it. It's just the way it is. This is what I'm supposed to do, and you just do it. You don't do it because you want somebody to appreciate what you're doing. You just got to do it because somebody's got to.
Right.
Yeah.
So talk to me about control,
About me controlling.
just in general, about either you controlling or you being controlled. Talk to me about control.
Well, I like to be in control. You know, especially my own, you know, the things that, my own schedule. I do like to be in control of, if I go anywhere, I want to drive, because I want to be in control of being able to leave, you know, when I get ready to leave. So I would say I want to be in control of my life and the things that I'm involved with as much as I can. And a lot of things I have no control over. So, but if I can, I want to, yeah.
So would you consider yourself a person of strong opinions?
Yeah.
Tell me a little more about that.
Well, my opinions, you know, I think I am opinionated on politics. You know, I have, you know, my views on politics I will voice those opinions. If I'm asked, I'm not, I work in an environment where most of the people that I work with are not of the same political persuasion as I am, so I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to be talking too much. But now if I'm in a situation where I either have to say what I feel or compromise what I feel, I will voice my opinion. I'm going to say how I feel. So it's just, I think I weigh things a little bit more than I used to. I'm not as quick to open my mouth and just blurt out how I feel about something, but I think I am an opinionated person. I'm just, with age, I'm learning to decide when to share those opinions.
If you ever find yourself in a leadership position, and tell me what that's like.
Well, I'm in a leadership position at work. You know, I'm in situations where I take on cases that I have to decide, you know, what certain people are going to do in relationship to that. I'm organized. I know what needs to be done, and so I think I'm a good leader. I don't have a leadership. I don't have a leadership role anywhere else. So it's only on occasions at work, and that I might be the leader of a project or something that I'm responsible for.
Right. So there are certain responsibilities that you are required to take charge of.
Right.
And you do.
And I do.
Okay. So talk to me about anger. What is that like for you?
Well, I guess anger is, well, first of all, it depends on who I'm angry at. I talk to people on the phone all day long, and they get mad at me, and, you know, when they're very stupid, you know, they've done, you know, and they tell me they're stupid. I'm stupid, I did so and so, and then you try to reason with them, and they turn it back on you like, well, what are you going to do about it? That, you know, I get angry at people that are that are unreasonable, I guess. But as far as being angry enough to, I'm not going to be angry enough to, I'm not going to get angry enough to jeopardize my job. I have gotten angry enough before that probably if it got reprimanded for getting angry. I think I internalize my anger. I'll turn it back in on me. I found that if I speak out and if I get angry and say something, almost inevitably, the regret that I have for having to deal with that is much worse than, you know, if I just let it go. So I don't get angry that much. I mean, I don't have, I'm by myself all the time, so there's nobody to get angry with. People do things, my ex-husband does things, those things do make me angry. I think what makes me, I don't know how you feel, it makes me very unhappy. I don't know about anger, but you
So
know,
you don't explode.
I don't explode, you know, I don't
Do you verbalize it?
verbalize my anger.
Yeah.
Not very much,
Okay.
not very much, no.
So
I
you said
mean,
it, you
I
internalize
will,
it.
if someone, if I'm working with someone and they, you know, they may come back at me, well, you know, make an excuse for something and it makes me angry. I mean, I would say, you know, that's not right. You know, no, you're wrong, but I'm not gonna get mad and curse them out or anything. I don't show anger like that.
Right.
I get angry at injustice. I see, you know, that I think makes me more as angry as anything. To see just injustice in any sense of in you know, family, friends, you know, things that happen and they're just so unjust, but yet it's like it's nothing. That makes me angry, but I don't express it because there's no one to express it to.
Okay. So, what about excess? Excess, does it play a role in your life?
Excess,
In general, just excess.
excess.
A lot more than. Some people do everything in excess.
I don't know about that. I don't know exactly how that relates to.
Some people can't just do a little bit of anything. They can't just, whatever they do it intensely and a lot of and often.
Well, I think, and there are, say an example of that for me, being, if I'm gonna have my family over for dinner, say Christmas or whatever, I can't just stop at just having a regular meal, like, I mean, I've got to make it more, I've got to do more, I've got to have more, and so in that way, I think, that would, you know, I think I'm sort of excessive in that. I don't think I don't spend excessively, I don't do anything excessively except, you know, something like that, or, at work, I might, if I need, you know, if I have enough for a case, I've already got the affidavits, I already got what I need, sometimes I just wanna go a little bit more, I wanna make sure, you know, just, you know, I might do more than I really need to do in cases just because I want to be comfortable, but I'm going to go in with everything. So I don't know about, I'm not an excessive person, I don't think.
Okay. Okay. So is
I think I sleep excessively.
is privacy important to you?
Yes.
Talk to me about privacy.
I like privacy. I like, in my job, I keep my door shut. At work, I like privacy. I like to concentrate on what I'm doing. I don't know any of my neighbors. I don't want to know them. I don't want them to know me. I keep most everything close to even my own family. I don't want anybody to know much about me.
So, do you need alone time?
Oh yes.
So tell me about that.
I need to be alone a lot. I'm happier alone. I'm much more comfortable alone.
So, when do you appear to be gathering energy when you are alone, or do do you gather energy when you work, or do you gather energy when you're with people? Where do you gather energy?
Well, I think probably I'm more energized if I am doing something and I see it's gonna make a difference. I can really get energized. If I'm working on something and whatever it might be, I know that it's gonna be, if I do this and I do it well, this is gonna make a difference. You know, this is gonna help this person, this is gonna work out well. That, as long as I know I'm making a difference, yeah.
So, do you consider yourself someone who gathers information or has a great deal of interest in gathering information?
About certain things. It depends on what I'm going through in my life, you know. When you're going through a divorce, you want to gather every information you can about divorce. If you have an illness or something's wrong with you, you want to gather all the information you can. I work in a job where I have to gather all the information I can about a company. If I think that company is engaging in, deceptive trade, I've got to gather, and I think I enjoy that in any aspect. I do want to know if there's information out there, and I think that I can use it. I enjoy it.
So am I hearing that you enjoy it because you feel prepared?
If I feel, I do feel prepared. And just the process sometimes is, gathering that information energizes you too. Because you learn this and then you learn that, and then pretty soon you're getting excited about, God, this is all coming together now. So, yeah.
So, do you connect more to ideas or to people?
I don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
I probably would say ideas, just off the top of my, without trying to analyze that too much.
Okay. So, in relationships, are you reciprocal? Does that mean that do you reciprocate in relationships?
I try.
Yeah.
I do.
And I'm hearing you say that you are self-sufficient. The next question is, can you relate to self-sufficiency?
Yes.
And that's yeah.
I think I am self-sufficient.
Yeah, I think we've covered that. All right. Tell me about multitasking. Do you like to multitask?
Yeah, I do.
Give me some examples.
Well, I'll go back to work because, when I'm at home, I will multitask at home too. I can have the clothes being washed, I can be doing dishes, I can be doing a lot of different things at one time at home. If I say, I'm gonna clean my house up today, then I've got a lot of things going on and I can do that. At work, I do, when I go in, I'm looking at my email, I'm listening to my voice messages, so I can do that, but I don't do it well. I think I do better when I just concentrate on the task at hand, because I make mistakes.